各党の先生方、そしてメディアの皆様にご参加いただきまして、誠にありがとうございます。私ですね、本勉強会の共同代表を務めます安野たかひろでございます。本日は司会も兼ねて進行を担当させていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。まずはじめにですね、簡単に初回の勉強会の趣旨についてお話をさせてください。AI をはじめとするですね、デジタル技術の発展は政治や民主主義の在り方を大きく変えつつあると考えております。そんな中で国民の声をより広く継続的に政治に届けるために AI 時代にふさわしい民主主義の形を考えるためにですね、党派を超えて知見を共有し、共に学ぶ場としてこの勉強会を立ち上げさせていただきました。今日はですね、第1回ということで、台湾のオードリー・タンさんをお招きして AI と民主主義の関係、そして世界で進むテクノロジー活用の事例についてお話しいただきたいと思います。そしてその後ですね、各党の皆様と一緒に議論の方向性を整理してまいりたいと考えております。もう1名の共同代表でございます自由民主党の平正明先生からご挨拶をお願いできればと思います。平先生、よろしくお願いいたします。
はい、皆さんおはようございます。座って失礼します。安野さんからですね、ご相談を受けてですね、AI の勉強会をしようということで、主要政党の皆さんにお声掛けをさせていただきました。各党の幹事の皆様、本当にありがとうございます。私、今デジタル大臣やってるんですが、実は AI の、安全性の確保と競争力強化という、担務を総理から総理指示でいただいております。で、多分安野さんはブロードリスニングっていうところを専門とされてるんですが、実は行政事業レビュー、民主党の方はよくご存知だと思いますが、あれ5500の事業が予算ついてるやつが全部書式が標準化されて全部データで残ってるんですね。でこれ今全部AI に読ませてます。なので多分ブロードリスニングと行政事業レビューの AI を合わせると本当に質の高い行革の議論ができるんだろうというふうに思います。でさらに今デジタルガバメントでガバメント AI っていうのを導入していて、これもリーガルでめちゃくちゃアウトカム出るので、ぜひですね皆さんと今 AI の進化とあとリスクもありますので、基本的なところを共有をしてですね、この政府の生産性向上とあと議会のいわゆる生産性向上をですね一緒に取り組めたらと思いますので、皆さんどうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
続いてですね、この会の設立趣旨について、ご紹介をいたします。こちらお配りした紙の2枚目のところがですね、設立主意書になっております。趣旨としてですね、私たちAI による急激な社会変化に対して日本の立法府としても主体的に方向性を示して、そしてですねテクノロジーの力を民主主義の進化と国民参加への拡大と結びつけていくための勉強会でございます。実際のアウトプットといたしまして、こちらに書かせていただいております通り、議員運営委員会衆参両議長への提案、あるいは法案の提出などを通じて国民が参加しやすく、そして身近に感じやすいようなより開かれた民主主義を実現してまいりたいと考えております。本日のメインプログラムに移れればと思います。講師として本日ご登壇いただくのは台湾の初代のデジタル発展省大臣であり、現在はですね台湾のサイバー無認証大使を務めておられますオードリー・タンさんでございます。オードリーさんとは昨年の5月、私が東京都知事選挙に出馬した時からよくお話をさせていただいておりまして、デジタル民主主義どう実践していくかというようなテーマでよく意見交換をさせていただいております。オードリー・タンさんは協調的な多様性を実現するためのテクノロジー、プルーラリティというものの提唱者で知られておりまして、世界各国でデジタル民主主義の実践提唱を行っておられます。オードリーさん、こちらの声は聞こえておりますでしょうか。オードリーさん、can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, please proceed the session. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. And good morning, everyone, to the honorable members of the Diet, Mr. Taira, Ano-san, and the members of Team Mirai, and to all the friends and members of the press. Thank you for this opportunity. As you know, we all live in an age of high ppm, and I'm not talking about carbon parts per million, but polarization per minute. Each time we open social media, we're flooded with content designed to keep us angry. And 10 years ago, something quiet but profound changed online. Platform shifted from showing what your friend posted to a For You feed. And that switch installed a parasitic AI between humans. These are AI that maximize attention by maximizing division. And so they discovered a business model of engagement through enragement. And bit by bit, our shared reality around the world began to fray. But what if we use AI not for broadcasting those extreme positions, but as a broad listening tool that help us find our common ground? In Taiwan, we face this challenge head on. We help design digital spaces like Polis. It is intentionally unlike the antisocial corner of social media. There is no reply button, so no attack to each other. There's no retweet button, so you cannot amplify outrage. People simply see one idea from a fellow resident where they can agree, disagree, or pass, and then the next statement, and that's it. The algorithm does something radical. It rewards bridges. Statement that earn support from otherwise opposed groups rise to the top. So instead of the left wing getting more extreme versus right wing getting more extreme, people begin to move upwing toward co-creation. And then we have a live visualization showing everyone's avatar clustering. People can literally see a group selfie of opinion where both differences and also overlaps become visible. And using broad listening, we did not just find common ground, we create uncommon ground, discovering surprising areas of alignment that people did not know existed. So today, I would take about 15 minutes to show a few examples of how this works in practice and what we learned over the past decade. And finally, some practical ideas for leaders here who want to begin. 10 years ago, our first major test to Polis came when ride-hailing collided with our taxi industry. One side argued for the Uber innovation and choice. The other fought to protect taxi drivers' livelihood. And on social media, the debate spiraled into zero-sum fight. But on Polis, the dynamic changed. People proposed concrete ideas, and others agree, disagree, but no dunking, no pile-ons. And so within 3 weeks, we have 9 bridging statements emerged with broad support. For example, one say, allow surge pricing upward during peak demand, but prevent undercutting below meter fare during off-peak hours. Innovation, fairness, together. And this became the basis of updated regulation. So the conflict did not vanish, it transformed. It's like a geothermal energy that turns volcanic magma into power. Everyone left slightly happier and no one deeply unhappy. And so this is the spirit of V Taiwan, a process that pairs open, broad listening with structured deliberation. While V Taiwan was started by the civil society, the government quickly institutionalized that into the Join platform. On the Join platform, 5,000 endorsements online trigger a ministerial response. One example, in 2017, there's 2 opposing petitions, each 8,000 people strong. One say, let's move Taiwan's time zone to +9 to match Japan. And another say, let's keep it to +8. We're not talking about compromise because compromise means +8.5, 30 minutes into the future, which not only will incur heavy cost, but also satisfy nobody. So what we did is, again, to find the uncommon ground, to listen from both sides and uncover the real motivation signaling Taiwan's distinct identity. And so once that was explicit, participants brainstormed better, cheaper ways to achieve this goal, like creating gold card visa pathways for global contributors to open source, or hosting high-profile innovation convening like the RightsCon. So the time zone quarrel dissolved, not because the conflict went away, but because the underlying uncommon ground found the smart outlet. Another example. Last year, we see on social media many deepfake investment scams. This used the likeness of well-known figures such as Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, that flooded our feeds. But if you poll people individually, they tell pollsters they don't want censorship, and they don't want to limit the freedom of speech that we have in all of Asia, the most free on internet freedom, along with Japan. So we try something different. Instead of letting the pollster determine the options, we ask everyone to set up a poll together called a deliberative poll. We send SMS text messages to 200,000 random numbers around Taiwan, and thousands of people volunteered. And we use the same polling technique, random stratified sampling, to choose 400 or so of people around Taiwan that match the demographics of Taiwan, a microcosm of our country. And they met in small AI-facilitated groups of 10 to promote equitable airtime conversation, keeping the discussion on track. And then we bridged the idea from the 40 or so rooms cross-pollinated. Only the bridging idea that resonate with each other can cross-pollinate into the plenary. So for example, one room says, all advertisements should be treated as potentially scam unless the advertiser use verifiable credential to sign it, KYC. Another room says, if a platform system deliver an unsigned advertisement that's scam, that somebody lost millions of dollars, the platform must cover the entire loss. The other room says, for offshore platforms that refuse compliance, we should not censor them outright, but we can slow their content delivery to their video without banning speech. So freedom of speech preserved, but freedom of reach throttled. And then we voted on it, and the 400 or so people, over 85% of the representative sample agree with this core set of packages. And AI helped us to find this uncommon ground and demonstrate to the legislature that no community was deeply unhappy. And so they moved swiftly, and the laws passed within just a few months. And the result was this year. The deepfake scam advertisement have largely disappeared from major feeds in Taiwan. So here we use AI to facilitate the democratic process that puts guardrail on AI itself. This method is not just unique to Taiwan. In Bowling Green in Kentucky, we have seen citywide use of Polis supporting the 10-year planning by elevating statement endorsed by residents from very different neighborhoods, very different politics. In California, we built the Engaged California platform with the state government to do statewide consultation using this bridging first method to get beyond the IMBY in my backyard, NIMBY not in my backyard, stalemates on contentious issues such like land use for wildfire mitigation and recovery. And we learned two practical lessons that keep repeating. The first lesson, the mayors and the member of the legislature, they are all very eager to innovate. Who wouldn't like a town hall that does not make people violent, but leaves everybody satisfied? Of course, it's a good idea. But the city staff are sometimes very stretched and also risk averse. And so the path forward is to choose a topic that saves time without increasing risk, or reduce risk without wasting time. So it is improvement on both dimensions without a trade-off. So we worked with existing vendors, universities, who already are conducting polls and focus groups with the government or the legislator. But we tell them, just use those generative tools so that you can come up with better group selfie. But the result is the same executive summary, the same format as a poll or a focus group. The second lesson is about representation. Of course, initially, you can ask everybody who are interested to chime in, self-selection. It is very valuable, but it can also skew results. So we design a diamond approach. The first one, agenda setting, is open participation. But if you converge on something, then that is random stratified mini public. So on the first stage, you can use very lightweight way, like SMS verification by default. But to the second, you need to have a very rigorous method to ensure statistic representation. And finally, I'd like to remark a little bit about the use of AI in this context. Debates about AI in Silicon Valley sometimes collapse into just two positions. One say accelerate and one say stop. But the real question here is not the gas or the brake. The real question is who is holding the steering wheel. Because the method we introduce do not replace elected leaders such as yourself, the members of the Diet. They equip you with a much more clear view on the road, a high-resolution group selfie of the polity, what your society truly values. And so citizens are the best in discovering emerging issues and defining shared value. But the second diamond in the double diamond approach, developing detailed policy and delivering results, still belongs to you, the leadership. And so for those of you who are interested in starting, I would not recommend the singularity, a super intelligence, a supermodel that sees everything and solves everything. In East Asia, we have a different intuition. Indeed, here in Japan, we have seen the idea of local spirit, local kami, that care for a place and the relationship. So it's not a single model that fosters the superpower of a certain individual, but it is rather to take care of the relationship with many local relationships, not like a personal tutor, but more like a team coach. So this is how we should design AI to become our facilitators, summarizers, topicalizers that strengthen our civic muscle without letting those muscles atrophy because we just delegate judgment to AI. Finally, when I became Taiwan's digital minister in 2016, my title in Mandarin, 数位, means both digital and plural. And here I would like to share with you my job description. It goes like this. When we see Internet of Things, let's make it an Internet of beings. When we see virtual reality, let's make it a And whenever we hear the singularity is near, let us always remember the plurality is here. Thank you.
オードリーさん、ご講演をいただきましてありがとうございます。では最後にですね、小川先生からご閉会の挨拶を賜れればと思います。お願いします。
はい、ありがとうございます。皆様早朝からご参加本当にありがとうございました。今政局報道カマビス式折でございますが、ちょっとそういう駆け引きとは切り離して各党の皆様が本当に志持って集まられたということに心から敬意を表し、またこれもちょっと党派超えて申し上げるんですが、先の参議院選挙それぞれ丸がついたところもあれば三角いろいろあったと思いますが、安野さんの当選と いうのは、ちょっとこう右左真ん中が言われる国会の中において、前か後ろか、古いか新しいか、新たな軸を国会に差し込んでいただいたということで、非常に希望を感じているところです。最後に今日オードリー・タンさんのお話もございましたが、現状、新たなテクノロジーが民主制にとって非常に役立っている面がある反面、極めて遠心力を働かせ、分断を煽るということで、必ずしも健全に機能しているとは判断しがたい局面にあり、それをもしかしたら埋めてくれる可能性が、この今日のタンさんのお話、そして AI の技術ということで、この民主制とテクノロジーとの関係は、次の段階に進まなければならないということだと思います。ここは本当党派を超えて、チーム安野、平、両与野党の代表のもとに、我々力を合わせて頑張れればと思います。今日に至るまでさまざまご調整をいただいた、特に幹事塩崎先生はじめ各党の皆様に心から感謝を申し上げて、閉会のご挨拶にさせていただきます。今日は本当にありがとうございました。
これにて本日勉強会は終了とさせていただきます。ありがとうございました。